Hi, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Veil.
Yeah, and happy Sunday. We're here again.
Here we are, back in the saddle again.
Yeah, where did this week go? Wow. So I hope everyone's doing good. I know the weather's cooling down here. We're actually going to be in the 50s for a few days, getting our hoodies and sweatshirts out.
Yeah. Exciting. Fall's finally getting here, and leaves are changing, and cooler weather. And
Oh, the wind's blowing, the leaves are down. We're going to start raking here soon now. I am everywhere, Blazer.
everywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're either in our chat or you're in Wendell's chat.
Yeah. So tonight we're multi-streaming. Wendell's doing it to his channel, Wendell Bigfoot 911, and we're streaming to Rumble and YouTube on our side. So I got 3 chats going up at the same time right now, so I'll try to say hi to everybody. But if I don't see you, I'll just say hi to y'all right now. Thank you for coming.
Well, let's go through real quick before it gets real busy. We've got Buster and Phyllis. I know they're over there on Wendell's. We've got Gary, best mod in the community. Got Blazer. I think he's in both chats. Got Bigfoot Dwarf. Hello, Dwarfy. Got Roger. We got Tammy, Brandon, Hillary, Val. Let's see. Blazer, Gemini, Denise. Yeah, we got Rex, Tammy, my sister Lori. Hi, Lori. And Mary's probably here too. Hi, Mary. Robin M. Welcome in, guys. Blackie. Was there anyone else back here? Cosmic Joe. I see Wendell.
Jason Finch.
You see a face to Ace. We got Cosmic Joe, Mad Pax. Gary, oh my goodness, this chat is filling up. Okay, there's Misty. Hey, Misty. Ashes, welcome in. And I'm at the top. Now I got to go all the way back down. Now you do. Who came in?
Monisha, did you say hi to Gemini?
Gemini, I think I got Gemini. Now I got to go all the way down. I got Gemini. Val, Hillary. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. I'm still scrolling. Hey, Jason. Welcome in, Jason. Roger. Heidi Pop. Welcome in, Heidi. Monisha. I'm almost done. I think I'm down at the bottom. Kyle. Welcome in, Kyle. Did I miss anybody?
I don't know. If you did, sorry. Welcome in, everybody. And we'll try to keep an eye on chat as best we can. And unfortunately, I can only pop up questions on our YouTube. So if I see them in the Windows chat or our Rumble, I'll mention them, and I just won't be able to bring them up on screen.
And I saw Lantern Keeper. All right, Kyle.
All right.
Down. Oh my goodness, I'm still not down at the bottom. Now I'm at the bottom. Hey, I'm caught up now. Welcome in, everybody.
All right, welcome in.
And welcome on the other chat too, and welcome in Rumble people.
So tonight we got Wendell Bigfoot 911, and we're going to be talking about some of his experiences and some of their group camping meetings that they have, their gatherings. So it's going to be a fun ride, and we'll just bring Wendell up and get going.
Yes.
Welcome, Wendell.
Hey, welcome, Wendell.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. Glad you can join us.
I'm glad to be here.
I still want to call you prospecting.
Well, Prospecting USA was my first YouTube channel, and I changed over to Bigfoot because I wasn't having much people interested in coming in. And I want to say hello to everybody in chat. I won't be able to do a lot of responding with my keyboard here because I'm not real good at typing.
That's all right.
Well, if everybody puts their questions or anything important in all caps, I'll try to bring them up. Other than that, we'll just let everybody say hi and all their formalities going back and forth. So I'll try to keep an eye on it.
All right.
Oh, Gary is actually modding both chats.
All right, Gary.
Yeah. Gary's a moderator in everybody's chat, I think.
Yeah, he's the best moderator in this community. He's everywhere. Good job, Gary. We love
I've
you.
seen him in 8 different chat shows one night.
Gary's
He's
everywhere.
There's Miss
Yeah.
Val. Hello, Val.
And
She
welcome
didn't
in,
get
everybody.
mentioned when you was calling the list out.
Yeah, we try to say hi to everybody because a lot of times we don't get a really chance to say hi and chat to everybody. So at the beginning, we try to say who's all coming in, and
Yeah.
after that, it's like the Wild West, you know. It's wide open.
Well, where you want to start?
Let's just start with your some of your experiences or whenever you first got into Bigfoot or whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I didn't get into Bigfoot really as much as I am now but until 2023. But I've had quite a few interesting encounters throughout my life. Starting off when I was like 3 or 4, I was run over by a taxi cab in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And then later on, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, our house was firebombed. Trying to think of anything else interesting. Well, I was having somewhere around that time period, I started having a reoccurring dream that I was riding a bicycle through a cemetery.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
After I got up to be 22, I was out making deliveries and I passed that cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Same cemetery was in your dreams?
Yes.
Did you go in it?
No. It was.
Oh, my gosh.
It was one of those small cemetery types that was on the side of the road with no real parking, and I was in my truck, so I couldn't stop in the truck anyway. So,
Wow.
Did you, in your dreams, did anything happen in the cemetery while you're riding your bike? Did you see anything or remember anything from it?
I don't remember if I was being chased or what was going on, but there was some reason I was going through the cemetery on a bicycle.
Wow.
Do you recall ever going to that cemetery when you were younger?
No.
Wow. Oh, now that's interesting.
That cemetery was located down near Conyers, Georgia. And I'd not been down there. I'd lived from Dallas, Georgia, Douglasville, Marietta, Smyrna, Macon, McDonough, but I'd never been out that way until I started driving for the company I was working for.
Wow.
So you think getting hit caused these dreams or this stuff to come about?
No, because like I say, that was like I was like 3 or 4 when the car hit me, and the dreams started like when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Okay. I just thought maybe that traumatic experience unlocked something for you.
Have you ever thought about going into the records and finding out who's buried in that cemetery?
No.
There might be a name or something that is familiar or something.
It's possible because I did have some kin folks I found out lived down in that area later on from some of my cousins. So some of them could be buried down there as far as that.
There's got to be some kind of a connection to that, that cemetery that went into your dreams.
I know everybody used to always say, well, it's Bart Cherokee. And I believed them forever till I ran one of those. I did family tree search on my own. Couldn't find nothing. And then I got one of those first DNA kits that came out from Ancestry,
Right.
and it showed there was no Indian blood nowhere.
Ah, wow.
But like I say, up until that point, I had believed it, and I've been going to Indian powwows and stuff. And I've always, when I go out to the woods, I would feel like I was at home. And I've walked up on deer 3 times, and I've never had no experience with nothing out like the Bigfoot or anything. No strange noises. I've always knew what there was. The first time, the main time I actually got scared was because of a flock of turkeys up in a tree. I was walking down a dirt road going into a campground that was closed, and it was early in the morning, and I guess I woke them up because they all scattered all at once, and that scared me.
I bet.
Yeah.
A lot of noise when they start getting all excited.
And like I say, I've been camping several times with my mother and stepfather and some of our friends, and we went to up in North Georgia, up there to a place called Depot, and on the way back we stopped, which is actually the same place I got scared by the turkeys, and we came back through Dahlonega, and that's when we stopped at one of these places where you paid a pan for gold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I did that, and the next year we went back up and we camped at Notley River Campground up in Blue Ridge, and came back through there again and stopped at another place. So I got pretty good at panning at them places, and then I got went to work, and which I was about 14, quit school, and went to work at a place pumping sand and gravel out of the Chattahoochee River there in Atlanta. And so I had it, and my stepfather's and his daddy had worked there at the sand pump several times. Well, his daddy worked there until he passed away, and I would climb up on the trough up there where there's pumping the sand and gravel that they run into hoppers and pile up, and I would jump off that trough and land in the sand pile.
Yeah.
And one time I knocked a board over that was leaned up against the string shack, and it had a nail that caught my stepfather in the ear. He acted like he was going to cut my ear off with a machete that was laying there.
Oh, man.
I was in my grandfather's pickup truck one time when we was living down there at Mapleton, and the driveway was fairly steep, and I was standing up in the driver's and the passenger seat, and he hit a bump and stopped suddenly, and my head hit the windshield and busted his windshield.
Oh, wow.
And my stepfather was wanting to whoop me for busting his daddy's windshield, and the daddy said, "Nope, that ain't gonna happen." Oh, I miss
So
it.
how old were you when you first experienced anything supernatural or paranormal, either cryptid or anything else?
Well, when I was around 8 or 9, I started having my name called when I'm away from everybody. I have a nickname, Winky, though everybody knew me by as when I was a kid. And I've heard my name Wendell and Winky both called.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
I I was at least 1,000 feet away from the house the first time that happened, and I thought it was my grandmother called me, and I run down there,
Hmm.
asked her what she wanted. She said, "I didn't call you."
Oh, wow.
Then
So it
another,
sounded just like your grandmother?
yeah,
Wow.
and then I was out there again playing another time, heard it, thought it was my mother. I ran running down to the house where I was living, and no, she didn't call me.
Hmm.
And we moved, which that was down in Atlanta, down based almost downtown actually. It was on Highland Avenue on and Virginia, and then was we moved out with my stepfather's mother and daddy, and I was a good quarter mile from the house, and I heard my name called, and I thought it was my mother, and I had to run back home, and it wasn't her.
Wow.
Wow.
I've heard my name called in Heflin where we lived, and had it called twice here,
Hmm.
and now Nancy and one of her sons has had their names called twice here.
Really?
Yeah,
So is it always a female voice?
no.
Hmm. Okay.
Nancy said she heard what she thought was me calling her,
Oh,
and so did her son one time. The other time he thought it was her,
Wow.
and when we was living up there at Heflin, I got a picture of a ghost in our house. Uh, the if, see if I can pull that up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have that photo? Wow.
I hit the wrong button.
so was it a full apparition?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Just recently, we were talking to the new owners of our hardware store in town, and
Yeah.
we know her, from previously, and she was telling us that when she was first opening up and cleaning the thing out and getting it all organized to open, she heard her name, but it wasn't her name; it was her nickname. So when you said nickname,
Yeah.
this was the second person that we know recently that said nobody currently calls her this nickname.
Well,
And
apparently I don't have that on my laptop.
All right.
I don't know, Gerald, if you remember if it was her grandma that called her that nickname or what, but
Yeah, I think it was her
she
grandma.
heard her nickname, and
Yeah.
nobody calls her that name now.
Yep.
Hmm.
I've showed that picture several times through to people. It's you can see it's got smoke in front of a doorway. Got a guy with a white shirt and blue pants and a red tie.
Wow.
A red tie.
Yeah.
Wasn't a family member or anybody you recognized?
No. Like I say, this was up in Heflin. We bought 40 acres out there in the middle of the woods, and we had a trailer I bought and brought up from Douglasville, which was a single wide, and we could smell people cooking in there. And then one winter, the pipes busted while we wasn't at home, and messed up the floors. Had to get another trailer brought in. So I bought a double wide trailer and had it moved in, and we could still smell the cooking.
Hmm.
And that was the trailer I caught the picture in. My stepfather was sitting there on the side of the bed one morning, looked up in the mirror, seen this guy with a old corduroy jacket and like blue jeans, a button-up shirt. I mean, overalls with a corduroy hat. He turned around, there wasn't nobody behind him.
Wow.
He heard somebody say they was going to hook up the mules and go to town in the morning. Heard he described it as Indian chanting.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Which I never heard none of that stuff myself. And before we moved up there, at one time I was living in Smyrna. The house we lived in, the guy across the street told us that the house was haunted. And he told us the stories that was supposed to be in there. One of them was that there's a lady killed her husband for cheating on her.
Oh.
And the other was a young family of people on drugs, and they apparently buried a baby outside the back window alive.
Oh, wow.
And so I've never heard nothing there. My mother and stepfather, none of us ever heard anything there. But one of my stepfather's cousins was staying with us for a while, short while. He was sitting there on the couch and watching TV about midnight, he said, and he heard sound like a baby crying, which where we lived at, people walked up and down the street and up beside the house, going up to the grocery store up and things up on the hill behind the house, which there wasn't nothing actually open at that time up there. At that time of night, you know.
Right.
But he just blew it off as somebody going by with their baby.
Hmm.
And then he heard the refrigerator door open and close. He thought one of us had gotten up and went through you can go through my room and get to the kitchen. He thought some of us had went through there and didn't come through the living room where he was at. Then this guy comes walking out of the kitchen wearing a blue pinstripe suit and sat down in the chair across from him. And he could see through him.
Oh, okay.
The next morning, the TV was on, door standing wide open, all the lights on, and the cousin was gone.
That's one way to get rid of company.
It took us about 4 days to catch up with him to find out what happened.
Wow.
Jeez. That's crazy.
But none of you guys ever saw that person?
Nothing.
Just a cousin.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was around 17, we was camping up at Lake Altoona up there at Sweetwater Campground, and we heard this loud plane coming. That thing was so loud it hurt your ears basically. But it was, and when it finally come into sight, it was one of those Navy seaplanes.
Oh.
Okay.
And in front of it was a black triangle, and you couldn't hear nothing from it because of the airplane. That was, I guess, basically my second UFO sighting.
Wow.
Black train. What year do you think that was?
Well, I'm 64 now, so you count back till I was 17.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's around 78, somewhere in that area. Somewhere around that area. But when I was about 6 or 7, was standing my mother was standing in the living room looking out the window at Mableton, and I asked her what she was looking at. It was dark outside, so you couldn't really see nothing. She said, "I'm looking at what I think might be a flying saucer."
Hmm.
I walk over and look out the window, and there's a string of lights, red, blue, yellow, green, flickering, going
Oh,
across.
wow.
So,
Oh my.
I've seen the airplanes with the blue and the red and the white lights, but not,
Right.
but not the other two. So, who knows what that was?
Oh my.
It does seem like when we were younger in the 60s and 70s, a lot of the UFOs did have different colored lights.
Yeah.
You don't hear pretty much people saying that now.
When I moved up here in Heflin, I started seeing those little bitty lights going across the sky that would disappear and show up.
Yeah.
One evening, I was coming back from Atlanta where I worked at, and I stopped at the Walmart down there in Douglasville. And when I was pulling in the park, I noticed 3 lights that was stationary over this building. One of them was bigger than the other 2. So I went on, I didn't pay that much attention to it. I just noticed it was them 3 lights, and one of them bigger. So I could go on in, get what I was going to get to go take home with me. And when I come back out, they was still there. And then I moved from where I was parked at to another spot to try to get an angle on it where I could start filming it. Took my phone and I started filming it. And as soon as I started filming it, one of them you could see heading south towards Florida, one of the little ones. And I just kept moving around trying to get a better angle on it. And I finally gave up and went home. And so I got that video on my Facebook page.
Wow.
If you click on photos at the top and the albums, then you go to the videos. It's in the videos aisle. I got a bunch of different albums on there. I got my Prospecting USA. I got Bigfoot. I got my collections, my friends, things I've seen, things I'm looking into.
Yeah, I know you like posting a lot of pictures from your camping and your gatherings. Everybody says I've been Wendelled.
Yeah, I've been Wendelled.
Yeah, and I think it was 2018. So when I caught my first pictures of tracks in my driveway in Heflin. One was a large one and one was a small one. And
wow.
The small one had a deeper track than the big one did, from where it kind of just like it jumped off or something.
Oh, wow.
Dug in. But I also got a picture of the angle and showing where it was going. I couldn't go through there with a machete, let alone without one.
Wow.
But I didn't do nothing with it until after my mother passed, and I'm in 2022, and I moved down here in Anniston in September, and I wound up finding one of those Bigfoot pages on Facebook, and I posted my pictures, asked people what they thought of them, and old Bobby Dizzle, the fascinating cryptid.
I've been Wendelled.
He contacted me, and then he asked me if I'd come on, and I said, I've never heard of a podcast so I said, yeah, but I'll do it. It might be fun. And so now here I am 2 years later.
Yeah, it's like us. I've been in this community for probably 4 or 5 years, watching Jessica. And, about 3 years ago, Gerald kind of jumped on board and, started getting in chat, getting to know people. There is no way I was ever going to be on camera. No way. No way. Look at us. Over 2.5 years and we're doing a podcast.
Well, I was on Bobby's podcast one time, and then I got in where I was in the chat with the Woodwalkers and Roger and a couple of others. Then Woodwalkers did a meet and greet up at LBL in 2024.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going. So I went. When I was there, I was taking pictures for myself. And then I posted them on my Facebook where for memories. And nobody else had. Not hardly anybody had took any pictures. And a lot of people wound up copying my pictures.
Bunch of thieves, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess you could call them that, but I just figure it's called sharing the family.
Yeah.
Because we have become like one big family with all the different podcasts that we're part of.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in 2024, Mark Green did his little get together down here in Talladega National Forest, and then the Woodwalkers came down later on, did one in the same place, and that's where we go camping around here a lot with Mark Green, and well, sometimes it'll be just some of the people goes over there, like Stacy and Jessica Jones came down there and they camped. And wasn't no organized nothing. It's just we all wound up being there at the same time. Which I didn't get to camp that weekend because I was sick. And but I did go down there Saturday and visit with Stacy and them for a little bit. I got a little short video clip of Jesse's group, but she wasn't out. She was up in the field with Harley when that happened. And then she come up after to Stacy's camper after we got there. And she's kind of snuck up behind me and give me a little spook when she put her hands on my shoulder. And Terry Allen was sitting over here with his wife, and Stacy and her husband was sitting over there. So they got a good laugh out of that.
So how many were there that weekend when Jessica was there? It seemed like there was quite a few there that weekend.
I think they had about 10 people in their group, but Stacy and her husband was basically up there by themselves.
Wow.
Terry just came by for a visit like I did. Mark, Chris Reinhardt, Patrick, and Adam Colt had come up there on Wednesday when they was coming through their Alabama tour, and they found a campsite up there that people set up in, and when they left, everything was fine. But when Stacy got there on Friday, that camp had been abandoned. The canopy was mangled. There's food left.
Wow.
Tent collapsed. So don't really, and that's where they found the large tracks out behind the campsite, that abandoned campsite.
Wow. Yeah, Jessica was showing some of those photos last night on her show.
Yeah. And, Rogers caught a video with audio of something you could hear down there. Like I say, I got 2 howls that was sent to me from 2 other people that was camping down there at another time on my Facebook page that you can go listen to. And
So they said, I think it was on Jessica's show. They said that somebody had went there and that campsite wasn't there previously. Then when you guys all showed up or they showed up, then it was abandoned.
like I say, on Wednesday, Mark and them went through there, and the campsite was set up and everything. And then when Stacy got there on the Friday, it was demolished and everybody gone.
Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. We're talking about you. That's funny.
Roger got an interesting video clip that he posted last year from the last time he went camping down there, where he called what he was calling an orb going through the woods down there.
Mm.
Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit, where it seems like Bigfoot sightings or anything like that, or there will be orbs in the area.
Yeah. But
That's
this one, I caught a orb on my night vision camera the last time I camped down there with it was between mine and Gary's car where he was camped. I couldn't see it with my eyes, but when I was using my night vision, I spotted it and I followed it across until it got to where I couldn't turn no further because I was sitting in my car. That's where I camp at, sitting in my front seat.
Yeah, I haven't ever seen an orb with my naked eye, but we've seen them many times on video and stuff in our backyard and out in the field behind us. Jane, I think, has seen them with her naked eye, though.
I've seen 2 of them with the naked eye, and they were both orange. And it was not a plane or anything, because, you know, clouds can be way up high, but when you got a storm, the clouds are way low to the ground.
Right.
This was underneath, traveling underneath the low clouds, and it just disappeared both times. And it was orange. But other than that, it was always night vision.
Yeah. I know Billy was talking about a mysterious blue light down in the woods that looked like it was one of those LED lights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't know what it was. And other people have seen different color orbs down there. And so there's a lot of activity in that one area.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it sounds like everybody was having fun. Then all of a sudden there was some activity happening in and out of the camp.
There's a place over here called Sweetwater Lake. I went down there one afternoon with my dogs, and there was nobody there. But my dogs got out, and they found a deer hide that had been. That when I went over there and looked at it, it looked like it had just been ripped off and thrown down.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
And then I left from that, went around to we got a little boat ramp that goes into the lake. I found a rod and reel laying there. I reeled it in. It still had fresh shrimp on it, but there was nobody around.
Whoa.
I'm curious if somebody was sitting there fishing and that thing come out there and throw that deer hide down, and they left and didn't have time to grab the pole.
Wow, that'd be something.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd leave too.
I know I've caught a couple of things in other people's videos that they didn't see at the time and pointed them out. Some of Mark Green's pictures in the out there in his garden, something in the cornfield, and it And I called something from, I think it was Barry Browning's picture that looked like it might have been a dog man up on uh, the side of the road up there, squatted down, hiding as he was coming down through there taking his pictures.
Wow, a dog man.
Oh, is that the same area that when Jessica was leaving, she thought she might have seen a couple dog men on the side of the road?
That was going from our campground back towards her house. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But it wasn't this past weekend. It was a previous trip.
Right. The previous time.
Right.
And so, yeah, I like it's. That's a nice spot down there. You know, it's a primitive. There's no lights, no water, no toilet, no nothing. It's just a spot in the woods where you can sit. And it's where the hunters come in there and they set up their camp during hunting season, where they have a safe spot where ain't no hunting right around them at the time. And when they're not there, we go in. So there's another campsite similar to that one called Big Oak Campground, but they do have a pit toilet, but it's not nearly as big as where we go. And I pulled in there back in the last spring, and I got this feeling I should not be there.
Oh, really?
Didn't have time to look around. I just whoop, and back out of the place as fast as I could.
Wow.
Now I went back later on, about a month ago, I guess it was now, and there was some people camped up there, and everything felt fairly normal. But I could tell, you know, the size of the campground, it was real small, and this was a little where that other people was camped. It was up on top of the hill behind me over here. They had a pretty good little walk to get down to that pit toilet, but everything felt fine.
Wow. So the first time you just think it was like an evil feeling, your hair stood up on your arms, or what was going on with the first time?
I've never had a scary feeling like that before.
Oh.
I just pulled up in there, stopped, and get this feeling things ain't right, and I just backed up and turned around and went out.
Wow.
That's the first time I ever had that feeling. Like I say,
I'm glad you went with your feeling.
I've never had a feeling like that.
Wow. Now you learn your gut feelings of something's wrong. Okay, I'm going with it. Goodbye.
Yeah. I've done been in this community long enough that people said, when you feel that, you better get out of there. So I did.
Wow.
And it took me a couple of months to go back, but I did, just to find out if it was going to be the same. And it was great. It was fine after that.
Yeah, I've heard other stories of people saying they felt the same thing, then they go back and seemed fine. There must have been something out there that was warning you.
Yeah. Well, where we normally camp out, I've never had that feeling up there. I've heard of the owls. I've heard the knocks. I heard everything up there, and I've never had that feeling.
That's strange.
One of the howls I got is one that's like a wolf's howl. It was 4 o'clock Sunday morning. I was sitting out there in my little makeshift toilet that I'd brought with me, and I heard it howling off in the distance, and I was so excited to hear it, it didn't scare me.
Right.
And then after a few seconds of sitting there listening to it, I said, well, I might ought to get back in the car. So I finished up, got in the car, but I had my windows down, had my hatchback open. That's the way I camp if it's not too cold, and no, nothing bothered me. Uh, that was on the Woodwalkers camp out that we had down there, and that was the first howl I'd ever heard at all.
Wow.
And then we could hear other howls during the day and around there, and that's when Pat and Joe got one of the howls that I got on my Facebook page, and Jesse got his. They was running their recorders at night, and they sent them to me, and I'm sharing them on my page to let people hear what they sound like.
When you say how, are you talking like vocalization from Bigfoot, or are you talking dog man, wolf?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've heard the strange howls, and I know it's not coyotes. Coyotes sound like they're drunk people screaming and yipping, and but yeah, I've heard the big howls, and we don't have wolves around here. We're not supposed to, but we did see like a possible like a coy wolf last year. I mean, it was not a coyote. It was bigger than a fox and a coyote.
It was big.
It was big and almost looked like a timber wolf. And I'm kind of wondering, okay, maybe that's some of the howls that I was hearing. But I've heard some gut screaming howls.
Yeah.
And I know darn well they weren't coyotes or anything in the area.
Then we went out tracking on the edge of the cornfield out here. The only spot we thought maybe they would go to, we did find one print that looked really weird.
It was strange. Yes, it was a large print. And it didn't look like a human print. It looked more like a like a large dog, but I mean, big.
Yeah. I was coming back from over here in Talladega National Forest one afternoon. It was about to get dark, and I cut through Fort McClellan over here to get home from over there. Which you come in, you go up this mountain, then you come back down, and you're in the fort. And they closed the fort down several years ago, so I just use it's called Baines Gap Road, and they got a little waterfall up there on side. It's not a big one, but it's still pretty to look at when you go through there after a rain. But I came up the mountain, come back down, and where it leveled out, there's a little creek runs under the road there, and I heard that canine howl again right there down in the woods in my car, and it actually shook me.
Oh.
I pulled over with my night vision camera and telephone, tried to record it, but by the time I got stopped, it quit and never did nothing else.
Wow.
But like I say, I've heard that canine howl up there at Fort McClellan. I've heard it down here in the other part of the forest down close to Sylacauga. And I was sitting here on the back porch one night. It was about 3:00 in the morning. I was letting my dogs out, and I heard one up here across this 21 right here, back up in the woods from my house. It wasn't real close, but it was close enough I could hear it.
Oh my! So have you ever seen one personally?
No. The only thing I've seen is 3 possible shadows.
Okay.
Well, the night Roger got his video down there of the orb, I seen something cross between where I was camped at and the front of his truck go into the woods. It looked like it might have been a Bigfoot, but it wasn't a large one. It was maybe 6 feet tall. But the one down, the 2 shadows I seen earlier was, well, one was one that me and Gary seen that crossed the road and went down through the woods. And we found the track for where it went across the road. And Katie was seeing looked like a mirage going down the hill down there. And then I saw a big shadow cover 2 trees down there at the bottom of that hill.
Wow.
And I went down there and got to the tree looked up where I thought the shadow head was from where I seen it, and it was over 9 feet tall.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
So that's the only 3 sightings I've had. So I can't guarantee it. If there was anything other than shadows,
Right.
but that's what my 3 shadows that I've seen. But
yeah, we haven't captured anything like that at all yet. We haven't, that we know of anyway. I mean, something could have showed up on our 24/7 because we have our 24/7 cameras pointing out to the field and the woods, but we hear a lot of vocalizations. Jane's caught a lot of vocalizations.
I've heard the whistles, I've heard the whoops, I've heard the knocks. I also heard, and this has been a couple years, it almost sounded like an old wooden barn, the old-fashioned wooden barn, the big doors. The hinge is a certain type of hinge squeak that you normally don't hear. There's nothing like that 2 houses down.
Yeah.
And we are on the last street in town, but our backyards, there's 7 houses here that's connected to this field, and then it goes out to the country. There's nothing over there that would make that squeak at all. And it sounds just like, just like an old wooden barn hinge. And I know other people talk about metallic sounds, like hearing the dumpster slam or something.
Yeah. And I've watched several of your episodes where you had it going live, and I've seen the little lights in the sky. That's all I've seen. I've not heard any of the sounds that you've heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard them on the 24/7.
Yeah, this is just personally Jane be out there filming or sitting out there meditating or just observing, and she'll hear the sounds.
A lot of this is before our cameras. We've had these cameras for 2 years, so a lot of this was before our cameras. And so I don't think they come up real close like they used to.
Yeah,
they know they see the red lights out there. They know the cameras are up.
Yeah,
I still hear the things, but they're just not close to the cameras.
Yeah, that's what I was supposed to say. Maybe when you put the cameras up, and backed them off away from the house.
And I heard an animal like it was getting attacked and surrounded last year in one of the cornfields close by, and I could hear snorts. I hear whoop whoop snort snort whoop whoop snort, and I'm not going to do the actual snorting online, but that was something strange too. Like, we don't have wild hogs around here.
Yeah,
so I was hearing snorts and whoops, and this animal was in distress, like it was getting attacked. And I wish, I went back on the camera to try to see if I could hear it, and it's just too far away.
Yeah, I was looking over there to chat.
I've never seen one. So far I have not seen one. These cameras can zoom way far in past the field, and I watched the tree line, where I hear a lot of activity.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen anything yet. I just hear, and we have seen the tree breaks. I've never seen a teepee structure or anything like that. But what we're seeing is the branches are bent down, and then they're laying up against the trunk.
Yeah,
a bunch of branches bent all the way down. And I know that's not storm damage.
No, that sounds like would have been maybe a tree fell down through there, but the tree would still be there if it had.
Right. No, this is all the way around. There's a bunch of trees, and these limbs are not totally really broken, but they're bent down and they continue growing. They're up against the trunk. And I'm thinking, okay, that's not normal breakage.
No, that's not.
Yeah. So we got something out there. I just don't know what.
Hey, Daryl. I will say hey to Daryl. He spoke up right there and said, hey.
Yeah.
And hello to the rest of you that I didn't catch earlier.
Yeah, we got Mr. B in the house from Australia.
Yeah, that's another thing. We get people from all over the world watching our shows.
Yeah,
River
we do.
from River down there in Australia, Mr. B from Australia, Sharon from United Kingdom, and
Yeah.
or,
We've had a few people in ours pop in from Japan and other areas like that. Not only like Mr. B's from Australia, but the UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of UK.
now speaking of the UK, Daniel Barnett, the Mythical Legends podcast. He was 14 years old when he started. I think he's 15 now, maybe 16.
Hmm.
And he's done some pretty great stuff. He got some eDNA from somewhere, I can't remember where, that they sent it in, and it came back as female human and old world ape.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they tried to say that it was possibly contaminated because they had the female in it, but
Wow.
I've heard that from so many other people that's sent in DNA samples that come back the female and
Mm-hmm.
ape of some sort, unknown ape. Hello, forest friends.
Yeah, that was our explanation that, some people do have good encounters, and they're almost, like friendly, like Gary. Gary's got a great group. Some are, they've had nasty experiences.
Yeah.
Some have good. Well, it's probably the human side in them that, makes them more gentle.
Well, you heard of Kumbo, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
The last time Gary was down here, he got sick and Kumbo took him home.
Wow.
And while he was there, he seen the big fella on Gary's property. He said that thing was somewhere around 15 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
We've come to the conclusion, Gary supposedly is able to communicate with these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm believing. I believe him 100%.
Right.
And I got to thinking that maybe when he was down here, he was in such bad shape that one of them zapped him to get him into the hospital so it save his life.
Yeah, I've heard Gary talk about that, where it's saving his life.
Yeah. And like I say, after they got him, they took him to the hospital and brought him back to the campsite. They packed up everything, and Kumbo and his wife took him all the way to Oklahoma, where he lives at from down here. And then they had to drive back to Alabama, where they live up here in North Alabama.
Wow.
Close to Greg's house. And Bama lives up that way. Bama Murdoch. Bama took us over to a place in Bankhead this past year. It was a nice campsite, and it had the toilet and had running water, but it didn't have no electricity where you could use it. They had one street light right there where you turn into the campsite. That's it.
Huh. Wow.
That's pretty far out in the woods then, huh?
Yeah. It took, I think it took me almost 3 to 4 hours to get there.
Wow.
Because there's no straight shot from here to there. I had to go around and come in from the north side to get into the camp area. So it was a long ride, and then we left from the campsite and cut through the woods over to Greg's house, and we sat there for a little while. Kumbo had came over to the campsite the night before, and we went up on another part of the forest up there and we did some howls, heard some possible responses, and we got over at Greg's. He showed us some pictures and footage on his laptop that he has. It started start raining and getting dark, and I jumped in my car and I headed home. I'd like to have been able to stay there at Greg's a little bit longer, see what all happened around there. He said there's something happened after I left that evening.
Wow.
So,
yeah, Greg's got some great stories and some good videos.
I don't think Greg's got no videos.
Oh, I thought I saw him show some videos. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mixing it up with somebody else.
I know now. Flat Rock, he's got videos.
Flat Rock.
Yes, he's from down here south of me, about 3 hours or so, and Chris Reinhardt and all them was down there on that week that they made their little trip through Alabama. So they had a tree pushed over, and they heard the whoops and what. Let's see, Mark Roberts. Wendell is 15 feet, the largest you have heard of reported. Actually, I've heard of one out in California or Washington that was supposedly 20 foot.
Whoa.
But,
Wow.
the bark 15 might look like 20 foot, depending on where it's standing at.
Wow.
Well, everybody's perception is different. So, I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to judge exactly how tall something is, depending on what the references around it is. I mean, up in Canada, up there in the big north, they talk about them being 20, 25 feet tall. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I know, they went through these Indian mounds and pulled out 10 and 12 foot tall people or skeletons anyhow.
Right.
Oh.
And they go to the Smithsonian, which they disappear from there. So
Yeah. Imagine that. Man, it's between our dog and your dogs. Both, yeah. So if you guys hear dogs, it's either Wendell's or ours. Ours is going crazy too right now.
Yeah, mine's settled down right now, thank goodness. But if they hear yours, they may trigger too.
Something probably came up on the front porch. She's checking it out through the windows.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been an interesting ride for the past 2 years. Before, I really didn't believe there's anything anywhere possible on this side of the country.
Your dog's probably hearing our dog over the speaker.
Yeah, between watching all these shows, we're in a lot of people's chats, so we don't normally get a chance to see everybody, that's active in chats all the time, and so we get to see them on your Facebook page when you're taking pictures of everybody, and then Jessica will have you guys all on, so we'll actually get to put faces with stories. So it's really nice to have people on to tell their personal experiences.
It is. It's a lot of fun when you get to have a meet and greet, camp out thing where you just hanging out with your friends and get to meet people you've never seen before. And that's how I got to meet everybody actually that I have met, is at meet and greets and campouts. I've been to a couple of conferences, which I only paid for one. At the time, I learned if I just go to the section where they have the vendors at, I can get in for free. And I've had one person recognize my car as I was on the highway one day, and they blowed the horn at me. I I didn't know who it was until later. But that, and you know, you hear people, they say people come up to them, talk all the time about Bigfoot and everything. I wear my Bigfoot stuff all over the place here. Nobody's ever bothered even looking at me, basically, from what I can tell.
Right.
I was in Walmart down here a couple of weeks ago, and some guy seen my shirt, and he said, "You believe in Bigfoot?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure they exist." And he said, he told me he was a truck driver. He was making run from down here in this area going up towards what's the name of that place where they Boaz and where Alabama they're from, the group Alabama.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
Well, anyhow, he was running Highway 35 and he got up there close to the Cloudland Canyon, and he pulled over on the side of the road to relieve himself. And while he was doing it, he got to smelling something really stinking. And then something sounding like a bulldozer coming up through the woods at him. He said he jumped back in the truck and hauled ass and never bothered looking back. So he never seen nothing. But he said something come at him while he was peeing.
Wow.
We listen to a lot of podcasts. You know, this community we're all in is, you know, it's a large community, and we've heard a lot of stories the last several years. A lot of sightings is when they're going to the bathroom in the woods. A lot of them are. They must like watching us go to the bathroom.
Or we just happen to like peeing on them.
So if anybody wants a sighting, just go squat in the woods for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Mark Roberts, Jane wants to know if the crystals behind you, do they affect your experiences?
Possibly. I had a lot of my raw crystals. I ended up putting outside in a rock garden. So I would sit outside with a bunch of crystals around. So it might make a big difference. Yes. I think some of my main experiences is when I took I take musical instruments outside in the backyard. If I play flute or drum or my handpan, singing bowls. You know, I've done a singing bowl like 1 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden I hear strange geese about a mile away down there by the Illinois River, and I'm going, geese normally don't honk in the middle of the night, and it doesn't like something was attacking them either. So to me, I think the singing bowls and musical instruments draw more activity than the crystals. But I do have a lot of crystals out in the backyard.
Now, do you guys, when you're out gathering, Wendell, at the campfire, do you guys play guitar or music or any instruments or anything? And do you get any reactions from the woods?
Not a whole lot of reaction from the woods during that. Now Billy Schilling, he's good, really good singer and guitar player. We got Dale Boswell comes out there from time to time. And Donna and Sherry from that are friends with Misty and all. They sing and play. But normally we don't have anything interrupt while they're doing that. Now Mark and Rebecca was doing a live down there one time, and you could hear the coyotes in the background, but there was other stuff that you couldn't really make out from where they was doing the show. And that was where Roger caught a audio of one with Superfly up there.
Yeah.
Looks like Gary wants a crystal for a walking stick. So Gary, if you get a hold of me through Messenger or email or whatever, we'll let you pick through our big pile. We'll show you online our big pile of stuff, and you can pick some out.
Yeah, we'll show you a variety, and we'll send you some, Gary. And I know before Gerald retired, I would be living out in my sunroom, and the windows would be open, and we had speakers out there, and I'd listen to music, and I'd be singing along too. So it makes you wonder if they are drawn to, that type of music and frequencies. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard people saying that they out there just having a good time singing, playing music around the campfire and
laughter. Yeah, they like laughter. They're drawn into, watching everybody just laugh and have a good time.
Well, they're probably just curious of what us weirdos are doing out there.
We're their entertainment. What do you expect?
Yeah.
We're just out there to go to the bathroom behind a tree.
Now, I tell you, Miss PJ, she's got things going on, and it scares her to death. I know it because I can just see it in her face and her voice. I wish there was a way to ease her fears.
I don't know. I assume, and I could be wrong, I think most people have just pretty good experiences. I think they might be a little fearful, because it's the shock. The first time would probably be a big shock or experience for somebody. But I don't think unless you intrude on their area too much, if they're protecting young ones or keeping you away from danger, then it might get a little iffy. But I think mostly just everybody's sightings aren't really, they're coming to get you or attack you.
Well, from all the reports I hear from the Bigfoot and Dogman, all that, there's not been too many that have been hurt or anything like that. You hear 5,000 reports of sightings and experiences. Maybe 4 or 5 was a disaster.
Right.
So, like you say, it's either they protecting their young or something, or maybe it's a rogue one trying to cut through and do something. Now, if the Gugway, I hear that's a totally different critter. If a Gugway moves into a section where others are at, the others tend to move out. I don't know what's going on with that.
Wow.
Let's see. Here's another one. Gerald, have you experienced infrasound or of its effects? No, I've only heard other people's stories, Jessica's and other people talk about the infrasound, but Jane obviously has experienced the robot voice, and I heard somebody on Jessica the other night talking about they heard a robot voice.
This is the third person, because Barb Hartman also had somebody say they heard a robot voice, and that's nothing really scares me in the backyard. I mean, there's coons, skunks, possums. I scream at them, yell at them, tell them to go away, if they get close to me. Nothing really scares me. I've heard a lot of weird, strange sounds. And so it was, I guess, almost 2 years ago, I was buying guitar pitch pipes. And this is one little thing. It's a 528 hertz necklace that is a little pitch pipe that is for frequency. And so I ended up getting a round one that choir directors use. It has a bunch of different pitches. Well, I'm in the backyard quietly. It's not real loud, but I thought I was blowing them. But then I was saying hello in these things. So I'm in different pitches. The next night, I just let the dog out. She went in. I'm standing out there. I close my eyes and I like listening to the sounds in the whole neighborhood. This was over about maybe 20, 30 yards. It's our second driveway going to the barn. 1 o'clock in the morning, I heard that hello. I went in as fast as I could. That's the first time I really felt so spooked that this was an audible, loud hello. And it was about the time he was still working. So about the time we were going to bed. And then I heard like the mind speak. And I heard, well, that's what you were doing the night before. I kind of went, oh my gosh, I was doing that hello through all these different pitch pipes. And, I said, I'm sorry, you scared me. I said, next time warn me or something. And I've never heard it since. But that's when I got really spooked. That was an audible hello. That sounded like a robot voice.
Well, my ears ring so much, I may not hear most of the stuff that's around me. I know they had some ham and a watermelon on a tree trunk. It was laying down close to my campsite. Dog said he heard something over there at my campsite, and they got gone. But I never heard nothing. And I was supposedly sitting there when he heard it.
Yeah, I got a bunch of different pitches in my ears. It used to be, just on this side. Now I've got them in both ears, different pitches. They don't stop.
Yeah.
It's not the tinnitus or whatever they call that thing. These are frequencies that I keep hearing. Yeah.
Right. I mean, just like Jessica and Gary and all them that have had the frequencies affect them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's such a low frequency that it disturbs your bowels and affects your heart rate and gives you a brain fog and gets you all mixed up. I mean, this is like an earthquake. If you're right on the spot where an earthquake or a tremor's happening, it'll send out those ultra low waves also. You can get the same uneasy belly sickness and the same exact things as what people were talking about when they're getting hit by the Bigfoot frequencies.
Hey, Amanda and Carl and PJ.
Oh, we got a good crowd tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us, either in Wendell's chat or our chat.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a great bunch of people showing up and getting involved in the chat.
That Sherry Roadway there, I think it's the same Sherry I'm talking about. It comes down there camping with us, as does the singing and stuff. She cooks for people. Gary and Billy, they help people set up and take down their campsites. There's so many great people in this group. It's unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done much sitting out in the yard, or the backyard this summer. We've had the hottest summer I think we've ever had. It was so hot and humid and just miserable that you did not want to be outside.
I know when I was living up here in Heflin, I managed to sit out there on the front porch at night, and I've heard coyotes. I've heard it was either a bobcat or a mountain lion, because I do know we have bobcats up there. And my mother and stepfather, they said they seen mountain lions come down the driveway. And
Wow.
Now we had a bobcat seen about 1 mile, 2 miles away. Someone got it on their trail cam. So once in a while we'll see a bobcat.
I got pictures of bobcat on my trail cam, and my neighbor had a picture of bobcat with a rabbit in its mouth going across his yard.
Wow.
Yeah, for us, it's. I mean, Illinois used to have big cats and bears and wolves, and they drove them all out.
Yeah.
Now it seems like they're slowly coming back from the upper states. They're starting to tread their way back into Illinois. So we'll see a bear every once in a while that'll venture down, or a big cat, but they try to trap it and take it back up to the more less populated areas anyway.
So that track that we saw last year on the side of the field, that's behind us, kind of remind me of a bobcat, but a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It was big.
It was big.
I got a cast of a track about that big around of a cat track.
Yeah,
that I
and we
got
don't
out
have,
that
and we're
night.
not supposed to have mountain lions or anything like that down here either, because we had a tracker look at it and he said, "Do you have any mountain lions or cougars?" And we went, "Well, once in a while we've heard of cougars, but
I've seen 2 black panthers in our area myself.
wow."
Me and my stepfather was up there in Heflin going to visit somebody he knew, and one crossed the road up there. And me and a girl I was dating many years ago was coming back from Anniston and Oxford, and down here on the side of 78 at one of these sod farms. There's one crossing the pasture out there.
Yeah, we had reports of a black panther. We have a, oh, what do you call a thunderbird, girl? It's kind of expensive living around the lake, and a lot of the Chicago people come down for the weekends.
Yeah, it's just a little resort area where they build houses around the lake to come down and vacation. There's a lot of people from our area already had houses there, so it was just like a nice place to be and go on vacations or hang out in the summer and stuff. But Chicago people come down a lot and buy the houses.
And some people live there, all the time. And I had a friend that her mother was visiting, and her mother was leaving Thunderbird. And, it's like a winding road going around the lake. And she called her and she says, "What kind of large animals do you have?" And she says, "Well, there's deer all over the place." She said, "No, this looked like a black cat." And she said it was running alongside of her car and it was right by her window. And so we were kind of guessing a Black Panther.
Yeah.
So once in a while we'll have a bear, but like Errol said, they usually try to trap these things and then take them back up to Wisconsin.
We had one bear come through. I guess it came out of Georgia down through the forest, and it was seen in Heflin, Oxford, Anniston, Lincoln, Talladega. It was over close to Birmingham before they finally caught up with it. And 1991, after we bought the property up there at Heflin in 89, and we got a guy come in there and make us a road through the property where we could get in and out. And we took a little pop-up camper up there and set it up. And one night was sitting there, me and my stepfather and our 2 little chihuahuas. You know how they bark at everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'd gone to bed and the pop-up started shaking. These little dogs didn't do nothing but lay there and shake themselves. Did not bark one bit, did not whine audibly. You could feel them whining. But after the pop-up quit shaking, you could hear something heavy walking off. And we sat there about 30 minutes after it went away. We jumped, got up and got in the truck and went home.
Wow.
And then the next weekend we come back and, to get the camper and bring it back to the house and all. And I noticed that the trash bag that we had hung up in the air to keep the animals out of it had a big scrape down the side of it. And this thing was 8 or 10 feet in the air. So I don't know what that was.
Now, I know some people gift, some people don't. Have you ever tried gifting?
No.
No?
Now, when we lived up there, we would take our scraps and throw them out in the edge of the yard and behind the house in the evening after dinner. And we had one time 8 fox and 6 coyotes out there in the backyard.
Wow.
And then we had the possums and the coons. And had armadillos.
Yeah, I guess we got possums. You guys have armadillos.
Well, they say armadillos are starting to come up into Illinois and Indiana now.
Yeah.
But one of my dogs, we would catch a armadillo out there in the backyard, and I would kick it, and it'd roll up, and the dog would try to play ball with it.
Yeah, don't you call them possums on a half shell?
That's turtles.
Armadillos. That's all.
Now, Mark, we're in central Illinois, just above Peoria, Illinois.
And I'm in downtown Anniston, Alabama.
And we're far away from Chicago.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Close.
We're surrounded by cornfields, just tiny little farm towns, and it takes us about half an hour to get to any big city, and I love it.
Yeah, y'all need to catch their live show and see the lights in the sky and the little bugs zipping around and
right now it's down because I don't know if the solar storm or what was going on, but it's like YouTube was buffering and OBS was kicking us off, and then I'd get back on again, and I kept it off for a few days. I tried the other night. We lasted about an hour and 20 minutes, and poof, it was done. So
if anybody wants to go over there, you can go to our Midwest Night Watchers, which if you're on Wendell's channel, you can check us out. And we have videos that Jane's edited and put up there, clipped out anyway.
Yeah.
And of all the stuff we've been catching in the skies and in the backyard and the cornfields behind us.
We got critters and animals and strange lights in the sky. And maybe tonight I will try the 24/7 again. It can go for weeks, have no problem. But here lately, man, I'm lucky to be on for a day and it boots us off.
yeah.
So the signal is just not good right now. So we'll try it again. After our show, I'll probably put the 24/7 back up and see how it goes.
Well, on my Facebook page, you click on my pictures, then click on the albums, and you go down through there, and there's album things I've seen, things I'm looking into. Tell me they're not real, or my collections. Some of my stuff from Prospecting USA and all kinds of stuff. All my friends.
That's just like us. We have a variety of stuff on our channel between our guest live shows. We have a Wednesday night, the Night Owl Lounge, where we hang out and talk with everybody and chat and just have fun. Then we upload our videos all the time to YouTube.
But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in my pictures and that way that people would love to. I think they would love to see if they just go do it.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Tonight is a busy night. Past 3 nights, they haven't barked at nothing.
Ours is quiet right now.
Yeah.
I just went upstairs and gave her a dirty look and came back downstairs, and she's been quiet.
Did you see what Carl said?
No.
Says Jane learned to mind speak to Wendell and Garrel.
I have experienced some of the mind speak, and I know it's not just me because I've heard some things that I normally would not be thinking of. But like I said, this summer has been real quiet. I haven't experienced a whole lot. I don't know if it's from the heat, the bad humidity. But yeah, this summer has been kind of quiet. No coyotes around.
I'm just hanging out with a couple of my friends here on doing a live. And I'm supposed to have, like I say, I'm supposed to have a dog on Wednesday evening. I think it's 7:00. So,
Yeah, I saw a dog in chat earlier.
Yeah, I saw a dog in chat. Yeah,
We're slowly we're slowly bringing everybody that we meet in chats on
Yeah.
in chat. We're slowly bringing them on the channel if they want to. If anybody has a story or just want to come on and share and hang out, just kind of like what we are tonight. We just kind of like we're sitting across a kitchen table from one another and just hanging out and talking.
Yeah, we're having a video phone call, and the chat's kind of like spying on us.
Yeah. The old party line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah,
I used to live was an apartment building, and I was like 6 or 7 years old, and we lived in the basement. And I would take a clothes hanger and get in behind the mailbox. A lot of them had the locks busted on them.
Mm.
I would catch somebody coming to the mailbox, and I'd take and put the clothes hanger through the hole in the back of the mailbox and pop the door next to them open, and it'd go wop, pop, pop.
Wow.
I used to be a mean little boy. And Spider-Man was my hero. I would climb anything, anywhere, anytime. There's a shopping center there in Marietta called it was called South Cobb Shopping Center. I would climb up on top of that building, go over to they had a terrarium in the center with glass around it and the open top with trees growing out of it. I would climb down the tree into the terrarium, mess with the fish in the water, and the security guards I'd keep an eye out, and when the security guards come, I'd climb back up the tree and get back out. I used to, my stepfather was a truck driver. He had the tracks for the screen machine on his trailer, and he come to the house waiting to deliver them, and something happened to his truck. It wouldn't crank up. So we held up the tracks for screen machine for 2 weeks right there in my front yard. And I was crawling all over the truck, and I peeled the paint off of it, and I got in trouble for that.
No.
Well, speaking of trucks and stuff, have any of you guys experienced like handprints and stuff on your vehicles while you're camping out?
There have been several people Billy's had stuff on his, Chad had some on his car, and there's somebody else, I can't remember who it is right this minute, had something on their car down there to camp out. Billy was sitting there with everybody behind the singing and carrying on one evening after dark, and where he was parked at, he couldn't go between the tree and his truck to get to the front of it where he get his glasses. So he had to go around the truck and come in the other side, and he got his glasses and went back around and sat down. Then something hit the front of his truck, and they went back and found track marks on his truck. So whatever it was right there in the dark by the side of him. When he went around there, he didn't see it.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
But there's been at least 3 or 4 people that's had stuff on their cars and campers that they found later. I went over to Superfly's house. Well, he lives in a camper at a place, and he has a big old handprint at the top of his camper.
Mm.
And he's got one on the other side. It's up underneath the awning.
Oh, really? All the way up there, huh?
Wow.
Yeah, it's right close to the front door.
Oh,
Wow.
And he's always seeing stuff over there. And I've seen stuff in his pictures that when I got over there to look at it, that stuff would be gone. So,
wow. Yeah, we haven't really got any footprints necessarily as far as a Sasquatch or anything. We did have one that we thought could have been a dog man. It was a really weird print that we found out in the field behind us.
well, I found a tree that's upside down.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Looks like where they come in there and cut the trees down to keep them from falling on the power line.
Mm-hmm.
And something come along and stood one of them upside down.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen that on people's videos.
That is a tree that's at least a foot thick from one side to the other.
Hi, Kitty.
We got two of them.
The
Two
kitty
dogs.
just vanished. The kitty just cloaked out and vanished.
Yeah, I had to knock his butt out of my face. Like right now, I'm sitting here patting my boxer lab mix and my little terrier. She's back on the bed over there. Stop chewing on the blanket.
Mike Nation said that he had a baby handprint this year. That was cool.
Oh, a baby handprint.
Yeah. Got a baby handprint this year. That was cool.
Yeah.
A lot smaller than what you think. Wow. Or
Flat
what
Rock.
you think.
Flat Rock's had handprints on his porch and some. I think he had one on truck or something down there. I may be wrong on that. I've seen so many different ones,
Hmm.
and I think Flat Rock had found a handprint out in his yard, and he's found some tracks and.
Yeah, it looks like Claudette said that she found some weird stuff in the snow, and Mike Nation, and
Wow. Now, I just heard a lot of mimicking, and several times I'd hear one dog bark, just bark. And then you kind of think, any more barks? You know, normally a dog barks more than once. But that summer, I would hear a single bark on one side of me. Then I'd hear a single bark on the other side of me. And I'm kind of thinking, normally dogs bark more than just one bark.
Now that you bring that up,
Uh-oh.
that dog that I played with, the armadillo,
Mm-hmm.
somebody shot him,
Oh.
and I heard him bark twice after that.
Oh, wow.
One time I was in my driveway going past where I buried him. The other time I was in Atlanta at work.
Hmm. Wow.
wow.
And, I know my dog's voice.
Right.
Yes.
It was him. No doubt. No way.
Wow.
I miss that boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dog was a chow chow, a cream colored chow. We called her Shammy. And then after she got sick and we had to put her down, she used to lay on my side of the bed, lay right there. So when I got in bed or got out of bed, I could put my bare feet on her and rub her, and I knew she was there all the time. So after she passed, I still had that feeling of that presence of her being down there in that same spot when we went to bed or got up.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess he's the one that's hurt me the most lately in his passing. And these two here is going to be the same way.
Mhm.
I know it's coming. They just ain't nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Right. That's very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we have just recently lost some old cats, we lost 3 cats within 34 days, believe it or not. And they were old, 16, 17, and 18, lived a long life, but
Yeah.
some of them, it's easy when they pass, but others you are so close to them.
Yeah.
And yeah, one was just this last week, and it hit me pretty hard. Really, really hard for a few days.
The longer you
So,
have them,
I understand.
the more you're attached to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these guys lived a long life. And like I said, they were 16, 17, and 18. So they lived a long life for cats. But it's still really difficult when they go.
Yeah. I had one that I got, and not too long after I got it, it got powerful, and it wasn't nice. That hurt too. But yeah, by the time, speaking of all that, by the time I was 21, I'd been to 127 funerals,
Wow.
and I quit counting after that.
Wow.
Now, over on Rumble, Speckled Egg wants to know if the baby handprint was adult size or child size. And I can't remember who was talking about the.
There's somebody in Wendell's chat. Yeah.
Who had the baby handprint.
Let me scroll back. Yeah, it was somebody in Wendell's chat. And Jessica's chat hopping. Hi, Jessica.
Hey,
Where?
Mark
Um,
from Night Vision Paranormal. I had him on my show here a while back.
Yeah, it was Flat Rock, wasn't it?
No.
I had a baby one leave its handprint on my porch
Oh,
ramp. Definitely small.
one
I thought
of the
somebody
ones I
else
talked
said.
about.
I thought somebody else said something. Oh,
Yeah.
it was Mike Nation. Mike Nation also said about a baby handprint.
Yeah.
So the question was, they wanted to know if it was still what human size? You said.
Yeah, a baby handprint or adult size, or when they talked about seeing the baby print. But anyway, what were you saying, Wendell, about you were talking about something else?
I was talking about Mark Roberts from Night Vision Paranormal was on my channel here a while back.
Oh, okay.
And I met him up at the conference in McMinnville, Tennessee. Me and Flat Rock went up there and spent the day.
Oh, Mike Nation said it was small, like a baby.
Oh wow!
Newborn baby.
Oh wow!
That is a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Wow, that would be neat to see.
One of the tracks I found up there, like I said, in Heflin, in my driveway, was a small track. It wasn't hardly any bigger than a cell phone.
Wow!
But
By a little one toddling along with mom.
Yeah, see, a lot of times we don't hear about those experiences or people finding baby or infant tracks or sightings. We usually always talk about the big, like you were talking about 9, 10, 11, 12 foot tall ones and the tracks to match. But we don't ever talk about the family. But a lot of times the mother will be carrying the baby, so we might not ever see the tracks of a baby.
Yeah. Like I say, I got pictures of it, but where it was going into the wood brush, I couldn't go through there with a machete, let alone with that one.
Wow. You think they cloaked out and was able to go through that?
I don't know. They may have just been tough enough to just barrel through it.
Wow. Wow.
Now there's the property I lived on, they had cut the timber off of it. So everything was growing back up, real thick. I had maybe 10 acres that was clear, and everything else was growing back up overhead. And there's around the back corner of the property back there, there's a spot where the brush was so thick you couldn't go through there, but I found a trail that was big enough for two people to walk side by side down through it's something made through there.
Huh. Now, Tammy was asked a question: what happened to the New York Bigfoot guy that always took prints from his camper window? Is she talking about Long Island Bigfoot or somebody else?
I don't think it's Mike.
No, I don't think Mike did that.
I'm not sure who you're talking about, Tammy.
I don't know any other New York Bigfoot people.
Well, Mike's more Long Island, but I know
Oh,
it's
yeah, Long Island.
most of New York, but
Yeah.
I don't recall who that would have been. That used to be in people's chats. Don't know.
Yeah, I've got to meet BMR,
Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
I've met Tex. I met the blondes and booze, and there's been several of the other podcasters that I've met. I met Cam Berkner at our first Woodwalkers camp out up there in LBL with Wood. I was walking up through there going towards Greg's table where he had food set up, and I heard this voice that was unmistakably Cam Buckner. I stopped and I said, I know that voice. He said, yeah, I'm Cam Buckner.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about the Dixie Cryptid and Steve Lilly and all that. And when we just getting ready to leave, he gave me his canopy that he was using out there.
Oh, really?
And somebody else got one of his chairs. I think Billy remembers who got the chair. I don't. Or Gary probably remembers. And, sometimes people, Gary got Chris from Bigfoot Outlaws tent that he had up there at LBL.
Really?
He wouldn't want to pack it up and take it back home.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, I've had a great time meeting all these people and going out camping with them. And like Mark's Christmas dinner last year, where we had people come down there to the grist mill, where we're going to be at again this year. If anybody's coming to that, they need to let Mark and Rebecca know that they're coming so they can make sure we got enough food. And they have camping down there. So if you're going to bring a camper, you're going to have to make arrangements with the grist mill for hookups, or
Right.
you might be able to park out there in the area where there's no hookups set.
Now you're going to have Santa Squatch show up?
No. Not unless Girl comes down there wearing a suit.
Oh, You never know. That could happen. Maybe. I don't know.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Oh my, you're gonna end up getting shot.
Yeah.
But they have experienced howls and tree knocks and stuff moving around around that camp area too.
Wow. They like you guys.
Talladega National Forest is a very active place. I've been driving through there for years. I very seldom see a deer or turkey.
Wow.
But now I'm thinking I know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing we have not seen. We've been in this house for 21 years. We're on our 21st year.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever once seen any turkeys in the fields behind our house.
No.
Oh, that's right.
Now the deer are starting to show up. Once that field came down, the deer are starting to show up now, which is really cool. But I haven't seen a turkey.
I can go out anywhere else towards the woods or trails, and I'll see turkeys all the time. But the particular fields right around us, we never get turkeys in.
I've never seen a turkey around here. Wow.
I can go up here and go through Fort McClellan back there on one of the cut through roads and see turkey quite often.
So we got turkey buzzards flying all over. We got all kinds of turkey buzzards.
Yeah.
Not wild turkeys. But yeah, like girls said, you leave and go across the river or leave town for a little bit. Yeah, you see turkeys all over.
I was where I worked at in Atlanta. I was down there behind Six Flags on one of them roads back in there where they was doing some construction, and there was a turkey. It walked right in front of my truck. I had to stop and wait on him to get out of the way. He wasn't. He wasn't scared of nothing. And I seen a hawk grab a beagle that had been hit by a car out of the road and fly off with it.
Wow.
I didn't know them hawks would get that strong because that was a pretty big beagle.
There's some big hawks around us. I mean, especially the red hawks.
Yeah.
They're pretty big, but usually eagles are big enough to take something like that, obviously. And
yeah,
turkey buzzards will just sit there and peck it to death.
Yeah.
Crows, yep.
And all kinds of critters.
Well, Wendell, is there any other things you want to talk about? We're getting ready to go on the 2-hour mark. It might be a good spot to end for the night, or unless you have something else you want to talk about or talk about it. You said you got dog coming on Wednesday?
Yeah, you mentioned Wednesdays. Is it every Wednesday that you have a show?
Whenever somebody tells me if they are interested in coming on, I find out what day and time they're available.
Oh, okay.
I set up for that. And there's a show I'm supposed to be going on next month. I can't remember who it is right now.
You didn't write it down on your calendar?
Actually, it is on my calendar because of that. But as of right now, I don't know who it is.
You'll get a notice that day. Hey, you coming on or not? What's going on?
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on my calendar to find out when it is.
We usually try to remind people a few days ahead.
Yeah. I've already posted the one with dog on a few different places.
All right. Yeah, so everybody that's in our chat, I posted Wendell's description and his YouTube and his Facebook group on in the description. So make sure you go over there and share some love. And anybody over there in Wendell's chats, please come over and check out our channel. And everybody else that's in chat that has channels, like Jessica's been in here, and we got several others that have their own podcasts that pop up every once in a while in our chats. And
yeah, we got Harold's in here.
Yeah, my Bigfoot, my Wendell Bigfoot 911 page on Facebook is the same as my podcast. So you can go that way and find me. Then you can go to my actual profile and go through my pictures over there and see
Awesome.
some of the strange things I've got.
So anybody out there that has experiences or stories you want to tell, get a hold of Wendell or us. And I'm sure either one of us will have you, or both of us will have you on our shows and hang out like we are tonight and have a good old time. And so I know Wendell's always looking for guests. So are
Yes,
we.
I am. I've been trying to get people that's not in our group because
Yeah.
they're fairly easy to get to come on. And so I got Kathy Louvern, from the daughter of Ira Louvern and from the Louvern brothers, gospel country singers. She was on, and I'll still talk about any prospecting with anybody. Talk about music. I'm trying to get Ricky Skaggs to come on if I'm actually talking to him through Facebook. I'm not sure if I am or not, but
Oh my.
Really?
yeah. But I'm trying to get him to come on.
There you
And
go. Everyone at chat has been Wendelled.
not everybody. I got a few more to catch. But I'm friends with BJ Thomas's wife.
Really?
Yeah, I met him back when I was like 14. Did one of them marathon walks for March of Dimes in Marietta, Georgia. I got that. He was just coming out with the record. Somebody wrong song album. I got it autographed by him, and
Wow.
like I say later on, I got to be friends with his wife, and I've been friends with William Lee Golden. I got a cousin. His name's don't worry, Wendell. Yes, Wendell tells. Yes, I do, Gary. You got me. I know.
If anybody wants to be a guest, contact Wendell.
But anyhow, that's the way things go.
Yeah. So
We do just love the Louvern brothers. They were actually kin to my stepfather.
Oh wow.
Their father was I think it was their stepfather was J.D. Loudamilk, the songwriter, and that's how they got to be related, because my stepfather's mother was a Loudamilk.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I keep putting it out there, but it never happens. I keep saying, anybody knows Dan Aykroyd or who is the other one? Sammy Hagar. I want to talk to you just personally, or even on the show. I want to talk to them and hear about their alien experiences and their seances and all that stuff that they know about and talk about. So that's the only two celebrities that I want to talk to. I'll talk to anybody, but I mean, those are the two I really are on my wish list, but
yeah,
it hasn't happened yet. So
Their UFO sightings.
John Smoltz, I've met him personally at a grocery store, a gas station in Canton, Georgia, where he lived. He'd go by there, and I would go in there and meet him and his daughters. I've seen wrestlers at the Waffle House in Woodstock. I got a picture with Bonnie Blackstone from back when she was on the WWF commentating, and my mother's got a picture of her with the truck that Sylvester Stallone drove in Over the Top.
Oh, the arm wrestling movie?
Yeah. We was at the World Congress Center at one of the World of Wheels, and that's where the truck was at. My mother was hanging off the side of the truck with a picture, and that's where I met Bonnie Blackstone at. And I was in the movie Six Pack with Kenny Rogers, Aaron Gray, and Terry Kaiser as an extra. I got to hang out with Aaron Gray a lot when she was on screen, and I met her. It was on I think it was a Sunday morning, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It was more like 4 o'clock in the morning, because I woke up, thought I was without my alarm clock, and I thought I was late. I jumped in my car and I hauled butt to the racetrack out in Douglasville, where we were supposed to be filming that day. And when I got off the interstate out there at Douglasville, I turned on my radio. It was 3:20 something in the morning or something like that. And I said, well, I ain't going back to the house. I'm going on down, and I'll just stay there till everybody shows up. And there'd be a few cars come up and down that old dirt road. Then after a while, I seen a set of headlights coming, and the tail lights was even further back than normal. It was a limousine. That was Aaron Gray coming in from the airport.
Wow.
So she got out and asked me what time was supposed to be there for the filming that morning, and I told her it was 8 o'clock. So they went to the motel where Kenny Rogers and everybody else was staying, while I sat there and waited on everybody else to come in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got to talk about her being in the TV series Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Oh, right.
And that little guy, Twiggy, he said it was a little 40-something-year-old midget with big beard and smoked them big fat cigars. It was a lot of fun. And Terry Kaiser actually offered to take me and another guy to California to make movies, and I was too hesitant. I didn't go, but the other guy did, and I have seen him in a couple of movies.
Wow,
That's pretty cool.
And there was a guy there that looked like Kenny Rogers, and his name was Kenny Rogers.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. He got to they introduced him during one of the down times. And the fight between Terry Kaiser and Kenny Rogers at the racetrack, Terry Kaiser actually busted Kenny's lip. So yeah, I've had a little bit of all kind of crazy stuff go on in my life.
Wow, that's awesome.
I've got stuff I haven't told yet too.
Uh-oh.
I had a guy hold a pistol in my face wanting to come in to see his girlfriend, and she didn't want to see him. He was drunk and crying and holding the 38 right in my face. And I told him no, she didn't want to see him, and he wasn't coming in. And finally he went home, and there was a fella overdosed in my front yard. There's guys, two brothers that fought like I don't know what. One time one had a knife and the other one had a brick and hit the one with the knife in the head with the brick. So yeah.
That reminds me of we had a pair of twins in a couple towns over that used to play softball with us, and they would always get in fights. And if you tried to break them up or get in the middle of them, the both of them would start fighting you.
Yep.
When they were done with you, they'd go back to fighting each other again.
Yeah.
You never ever saw them never arguing or fighting each other. But
Don't bring a knife to a brick fight.
But I would say shadows shooting. I was outside flying around.
Wow.
Oh my.
And the one that caught my attention the most was one evening I was walking up my driveway there in Atlanta, and one come past me and went up into the trees and made a turn to the right. That was the biggest one I ever seen.
Oh.
Duke says that you got an angel looking out for you.
I must have somebody. The number of bicycle wrecks and stuff I've had, I probably should be dead by now. I come running out of the woods, caught the clothesline right here, and wound up on my back for 20 minutes catching my breath.
Wow.
I had a big red mark up through there for over a month.
You got 9 lives like a cat.
There's one of the little buildings out behind the house. I would jump from it and grab a tree limb and swing over to another tree limb and work my way down to the ground. One day that first tree limb broke and I was on the ground again. And we had a zip line we set up over in the woods, the neighbors, and the thing hung up and sent me sailing off in the ditch.
Oh my.
Makes you wonder if Sasquatch and them use the zip lines at night.
That would be funny.
Yeah, that would be great.
But I had a bicycle that I would be, I rode across this parking lot and that had a drop off down into another parking lot. And I would jump off of that. One day the handlebars and the front wheel came loose from the frame, and I went plowed all over the concrete. I was riding my bicycle across a 2x4 across a big ditch, fell off. My front tire went off, and I went in the ditch and landed on the gooseneck. And I was on a 10-speed without brakes, trying to make a high-speed turn, hit a wooden fence. I wound up having to tote my bicycle home after that one, and I was all skin up.
I bet your mother, every time you walked in the door, your mother said, "Well, what'd you do today, Wendell?"
For a while it got that way. I had a rope swing that I would swing on, and the rope and the stick I was using broke, and I plowed head first into the side of the car. I was on a mini bike and hit the side of a 57 Chevrolet and busted the window with my head.
Wow. That's
wow.
Yeah. I guess it's a good thing to have a hard head.
I guess. Oh boy.
But yeah, there's a bunch of little knick-knack stuff like that's happened. I fell off when I was maybe close to the same age as when I was hit by the car. We was up in Tennessee visiting kin folks, and there's a log across the creek. I fell off the log into the creek, and so yeah, there's been quite a few little things that some of it's nothing a little bit funny, and some of it's just plain good old memories.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. Then sometimes after that, if it's not you, it's still funny.
Yeah. I used to have, we used to take and lay down in the yard and cover up with pine straw and have people ride their bicycles over us, making jumps. And it's just crazy stuff like that kids do.
Yeah.
Or used to do. They don't do it no more. They say,
I don't see any kids out there making ramps or jumps anymore.
no, you don't.
They're all playing video
You can't even
games.
let them out of the house now because you're scared somebody's going to do something to them.
They're all playing video games. You don't really go outside that much.
Well, like where I'm at, the Nancy's kids, they get so bored, they just cause havoc in the house because they're bored. You can't let them get out here and run up and down the streets because I'll be sitting here and I hear machine gun fire going off around me.
Oh.
They found a skull over here on 36th Street, a couple of blocks up from where I'm at. So yeah, you can't let them just go out and have fun like we used to.
Right.
I'd leave in the morning on a Saturday morning, go out, and I wouldn't come home till after dark.
Yeah, I think I said that on another show. We would be gone all day, and we'd come home to eat basically. Then we had to stay home. But then if the neighborhood kids came out, we could go outside after dark and play in our neighbor's yard, our yard, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we didn't have to come back in till it was bedtime.
Yeah. Like they say, we used to drink out of water hoses.
Yep.
If it was over at the neighbor's house when it come time to eat, they give us the sandwich, or my mother give them sandwiches at our house, or depending on where it was at. If it come time to eat, somebody with us, they got fed too. It ain't like that no more.
Nope.
Used to have family come over on the weekends and visit. Since my stepfather's mother passed, there's not been nobody other than one cousin and my stepbrothers that had come and visited us. And then when my stepfather passed, they quit coming.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of families are slowing down on get-togethers.
Yep.
Quite a few families, yeah. It's not like when we were younger, you got to know your cousins, and
Yeah.
but this young generation, they're not close to their cousins, really even know them.
Our family reunions have even been cut out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't hear a lot of family reunions anymore either. Right, because half the family is fighting with each other these days.
Yeah.
They don't want a family reunion. Cousin Joe, is going to show up. No, I'm not coming then.
Yeah.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, I miss all the big family get-togethers.
Yeah. I miss my Uncle Joe too.
I didn't mean to criticize your Uncle Joe.
Well,
Uncle Bubba.
he was actually the one putting on the family reunions.
Okay. I think that's what happens a lot is the elder generation that used to organize everything fell apart, and that was the common bond between everybody. Then nobody else wanted to take over.
Exactly. And well, like for me, when I pass, my family lines is stopped. I never had no kids, no sons, no daughters, no nothing. And if I'd have had daughters, they got married and wouldn't have the same name no more either. So
Right.
So I'm the end of my line.
That's probably why going out camping and having gatherings all the time take its place.
Well, I worked for the company in Atlanta for 40 years. I get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to work, come home at 4:30 to 6 in the evening, eat, watch a little TV, and go to sleep. Get up next morning, do it again. I didn't go out shopping and all that. Go, camping or anything. I even got where I didn't have time to do my prospecting stuff after I started my club. But I would still take and get online, find information that people was wanting and post it on there. And so I guess I'm just doing for others more than myself and working too much.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am.
Here you
Well, thank you for sharing all your stories and experiences and the camp outs. And hopefully you'll get more subs from our channel and join you. You said Wednesday night. What time?
7:00 Wednesday evening.
Central time?
Yes.
Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Central.
All right. That sounds
And-
awesome.
And
All right.
whenever somebody says they'll come on the show, I let them pick the day and the time, and that's
Okay.
what we set it up for.
All right. So maybe you'll have some contact from people that want to be on your show.
I hope we get a bunch of you to come in here and join us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I want to thank the mods. Gary, I don't know how you did it, but you modded 2 channels at the same time. That's amazing. You're
Yep.
multi-talented. So we just want to thank everybody in both chats and Rumble. I guess 3 chats. Thank you for joining us. Please go and subscribe to Wendell. And especially
subscribe to
joining this Wednesday.
Midwest Night Watchers. And I want to thank everybody for being here too.
All right. Love you guys. See you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
care.
everyone. Much love.
Keep looking up.
And keep your vibrations high.